I finally made it. I feel like I almost didn't make it this morning, so I am super excited that I actually made it. Hi, everybody. I am Mary here at Mary's Heirloom Seeds. It is a little windy, so I'm having trouble seeing this morning. Hi. uh, Thank you for joining me for my weekly live chat. I had to reschedule my chat this week. I normally got lots of pollinators everywhere. Happy bee day! I almost forgot to share that with you, but I'll share that a little later on. Sorry, my eyes are watering and I can barely see the camera here. Okay, let's get started. Good morning, Tom. Thank you for joining me. I apologize. I can barely see out of my left eye today because that's just watering like crazy. I normally go live here on Thursdays. Sorry, I can't see. Now I can see. Ta-da! I go live here on Thursdays on my YouTube channel at 5 p.m. Central Time, but this week has been absolutely crazy. It was so hot on Thursday. We were building a chicken coop. We were getting the chicks, getting ready to get them moved in. We finally moved them in on Friday. That was yesterday. Today's World Bee Day. I'm a little squinty. I apologize. Allergies and pollen, I know. And I have been struggling with allergies the last couple days, and I don't normally have allergies. So I forgot my tissue to clear my eyes out. So just bear with me. I'm not crying. I'm just enjoying this amazing pollen and all this awesomeness here in East Texas. So today's World Bee Day. That is totally separate from my topic today, but I do have new tank tops, which I'm really excited to share with you. Because it's been so hot, it's really nice to have something a little cooler in the garden when I go live. I generally cover up from head to toe when I'm in the garden long term all day long because I don't want to get covered in, I don't want it sunburn and skin cancer and all that good stuff. But for just hanging out in the garden for a little bit, I do enjoy wearing a tank top because it gets hot. I'm feeling like a pirate today. My eye is still watering. Good morning, Moonshine. Good morning, Alan. I apologize. My allergies are kicking my butt today, and my left eye is just watering like crazy. So, all right, so what are we doing? What are we talking about today? In the description section of this video, you will find links to my comprehensive planting guide. We have some amazing gardens growing behind me. I'm so excited. It's finally warming up. My husband is not that excited because it is hot. Yeah, Moonshine says it's hot. It is hot. It was in the 90s yesterday. The feels like temperature was up to 100. So we definitely had to move the chicks out to their new chicken coop. And this morning we had to reinforce the chicken coop, which is why I wasn't sure if I was actually going to make it this morning. A critter tried to get in underneath. Allergies, recommended plants for allergies. I'll share that with you in a little bit. I don't have those off the top of my head. I know a lot of people use feverfew, specifically for allergies and migraines. But it's just one of those things that there's some things you can try that are natural, but I have forgotten all of those right now because I'm just off on another planet. We've got World Bee Day, and we've got the discussion today is our 2023 garden challenges. And that's not like the challenges that you have in your garden every year. These are actually challenges that I'm encouraging you to join us. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and hit that thumbs up for our video. So we've got two garden challenges this year. One is grow the largest watermelon and the other is grow the largest pumpkin. So there's a lot of different things that I've got growing on that side of the garden, and then our other new gardens this year that I will be participating in the challenges as well. So this is one of my gardens that I go live. That's actually the only garden I go live in because that's where I get the best coverage. The other gardens are outside of my range for my internet, so I can't really go live in those gardens. So you don't always see those gardens in live chats, but sometimes I do videos in another garden, and I will have those as well. Good morning, DJ Harper. Thanks for joining us. So if you haven't already signed up, there's still plenty of time. I asked people to sign up earlier, but it is definitely not. Neil, perfect question. It is not too late to sign up. So I did share the basics on, we have 5 acres here, and then we have a couple other projects outside of this acreage. just to answer your question while I'm rattling off our garden challenges. So in our garden challenges are the two different options is watermelon and pumpkin. And really there's very few rules. The only major rule is you have to have purchased your seeds from Mary's Heirloom Seeds, of course, because we're putting on the giveaway and we're sponsoring it and there's lots of prizes. I do ask that you sign up early, or at least sign up and let me know. But the final weigh-in isn't until November. I'm going to have a couple follow-up sign-ups that are just like a progress sign-up, and those will be posted at Mary's Heirloom Seeds. June 1st is the next update I will have on my website, marysheirloomseeds.com. And there will be a sign-up option there as well that you can tell me what you're growing, and how your progress is going so far. And I didn't end the giveaway. I'm sorry, I didn't end the challenges until November 1st because we have such a wide range of customers at Mary's Heirloom Seeds, literally from East Coast to West Coast, Alaska and Hawaii. So we've got a large range of customers that are growing in different places. Moonshine says, I got pumpkin seeds from you, but they aren't giant ones. That's okay. So there's going to be a couple of ways that you can win. And in the description section of this video, you will also find my February update. And that was where I shared the prizes. And it's not just the only prize is if you grow the biggest watermelon or the biggest pumpkin. There's going to be some other prizes for different, more unique options. So definitely sign up. And literally, I've got an option just for participating, and that's why I asked that you sign up to participate, because I don't have a way to give you or include you in the giveaway at the end if you don't sign up. So pretty simple, pretty basic. 1, purchase your seeds from Mary's Heirloom Seeds. 2, sign up. And then 3 is obviously weigh in at the end of the year in November. And then we'll be announcing the prizes and the winners at a later time in November, of course. So I'm excited. So some of the ones that I discussed in the challenge emails that I sent out or articles that I posted are recommendations for the larger varieties of watermelon and pumpkin. So that's also on my website. It's also in the description section of the video. So I do try to share as much information in videos, but also on my website and social media. Not everybody is on Facebook. I totally understand. And that's why the bulk of it is going to be posted at marysheirloomseeds.com. That way, you don't have to be on any social media in order to join us. You just have to check it out when you get a chance. If you haven't already, sign up for my emails. I send weekly emails with updates about seeds and articles on how to grow. So they're really helpful tips. It's not required, but it is pretty helpful if you do. If you have, on that note, as far as email goes, if you have questions, you can send me an email. My email is mary@marysheirloomseeds.com, and I do answer emails. I do ask that you give me 48 hours, 24 hours to get back to you, because life gets crazy around here, and we're trying to get seed orders out, trying to get our gardens planted, and answer questions, phone calls, emails, and all that at the same time. And wrangle chickens, because yesterday I had to wrangle chicks and get them out of the brooder and into their new coop. And then this morning we had to secure the coop because critters tried to get in last night. So it's a never-ending adventure, really, at Mary's Heirloom Seeds. At least for me it is, anyway. So the recommendations for the largest pumpkin was the Carolina Cross and the Florida Giant. In my experience, when I was planting those seeds, the Florida Giant seeds germinated faster, and the Carolina Cross seeds took a lot longer than normal. But I had about 90% germination on both of those varieties. But then that Carolina Cross plant got much bigger, faster. So I will be sharing some information on those at a later time. Like I said, I can't go live in that garden. So I'll post a video at a later time. That way you can see what I'm doing. So those were the recommendations, but that's not required. You can plant any watermelon seed we have and still enter the giveaway, enter the challenge. And then for pumpkins, I don't know off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure the two that I suggested was Dill's Giant Atlantic. That one can grow, I want to say it can grow 1,600 pounds or something like that. I think, no, I take that back. I think the 1,600 pounds was the largest watermelon grown. But sorry, I don't have it memorized today. So the Dill's Atlantic Giant was the larger one. It may only be a 5 to 600 pound, but that's still a huge pumpkin. And then I believe the other one was Big Mac's pumpkin. So those two were the recommended for the largest pumpkin. Not to say that that's what you have to use, but those are just suggestions on the two that would grow the larger ones. So you can always, like I said, you could always send me an email. Mary, I purchased uh, I don't know, Connecticut field pumpkin. How do I grow that? Well, there's an article on my website about how to grow it from seed. So I have planted a bunch, and I'm actually looking at my Jarradale pumpkin, and they've already produced blossoms. So I'm really excited about that. Now, the weigh-in is going to be pretty simple. You're going to have to weigh it. You're going to have to take a picture of it, and you're going to have to send it to me. So that'll all be explained in my June email. Most of you that are joining the challenge haven't gotten to that point yet. I know for some of you, you just had a freeze in the Northeast, so maybe you haven't even planted yours outside, or maybe you planted it already and you've got to replant because of that. So totally fine. There's no limit on how many you can plant. I mean, if you planted 5 packs of seeds and you grew this gigantic property-sized pumpkin patch, that's totally fine too. So but if you only have a small space and you just plant a couple seeds, that's fine as well. I am planting Moon and Stars yellow flesh watermelon, and I planted the Florida Giant. Are my two favorites. I did do the Carolina Cross, but that one is a giant one, and I've never eaten it before, so we'll see how that goes. I have, however, planted Moon and Stars yellow flesh watermelon and the Florida Giant, and both of them were spectacular. I do like the uniqueness of a yellow flesh watermelon, and I like that the rind of the watermelon it's got sparkles. It literally it's a dark green watermelon, and it's got yellow, what looks like moon and stars, like you'd look up in the sky at night and you'd see the stars dotting the sky. And I am super excited now that we're in East Texas. I've been in East Texas for almost 2 years now, and you can actually see the stars. Where I lived a few years ago, I didn't have that option. It was just what do they call it? Something pollution, light pollution, where you just see the city. I still grew in the city though, so you can definitely still do it. You don't have to move out to the country to to see the stars. Growing in Vancouver Island is in the challenge. Yes, you are. I saw your video and I'm really excited for you. Growing in Vancouver, you are in Canada, and I saw some of the comments that it was not the easiest thing to grow a watermelon or a pumpkin where you were. So I'm really excited that you're joining us. I love a good challenge. A couple years ago, we did a pollinator challenge, a tomato challenge, and a pepper challenge, I believe. And I know that not everybody can grow something that needs a lot of space. So next year we'll have some smaller options. We'll have the tomato and the pepper. We'll bring that back next year. But this year we just have the watermelon and the pumpkin. So I'm really looking forward to that. Now, I mentioned that today is World Bee Day. Today is May 20th, 2023. So if you're watching the replay, it may not be World Bee Day. But I did wear my new tank top just in honor of World Bee Day. And the whole point of World Bee Day is to practice pollinator-friendly agriculture. And too often I see in the social media groups that I'm in, too often I see people concerned about having perfect vegetables and not necessarily a happy and healthy environment for our pollinators. There's, someone emailed me and they said, well, I don't, because we practice organic gardening and farming, and we practice what I call beyond organic standards. And that's not a technical term. That's literally something that I pulled out of my head. But it's because there's still some not so pollinator friendly organic practices. And we like to go beyond that and grow with nature and attract pollinators. And that's why January is Plant for Pollinators month at Mary's Heirloom Seeds. And it's not a nationally recognized month. It's just something that I do. And I do that because January oftentimes is when gardeners in general are starting to plan their gardens, or they're starting to think about what did well last year and what you want to do next year. You see all the I've seen this image posted, and it's like gardening doesn't start in the spring, it starts in January, when you start when sometimes there's snow on the ground and you're kind of dreaming of your next garden. Well, that's part of why January is Plant for Pollinators month. I share all of the benefits of encouraging pollinators to your garden. Uh, there's a um, there's an article I posted, and the actual research has been removed and then replaced with the same research but a different link, whatever. Um, but it was a study that showed that you had a better crop by encouraging pollinators than you did in adding more fertilizer. So, a healthy plant, yes, will produce a healthier crop, but without those pollinators, you may not get that healthy crop in the first place. So, we really do encourage that you plant for pollinators. So, I'm super excited that. Can you tell I'm super excited today? I think I've said that like 5 times already. I think part of it is because it's really gray outside. I don't know if you can tell, um, but it's overcast, which I really like because the heat yesterday kind of got to me when I was out here working. So when you have that overcast, that cloud layer, it makes it so that it's not so hot. So even if it says it's 70 in the morning time when you get up to go feed the chickens, it feels a little cooler. So even if it says it's 80, hopefully it feels a little cooler. So that's my info today for the garden challenge, and I'd love to hear your feedback if you are joining me on my live chat today. I would love your feedback, so let me know. You can also, like I said, send an email. My email is mary@marysheirloomseeds.com, and I do try to respond to all of the emails that come through. Um, I don't respond to spam, so if you send me like a forwarded chain letter, I probably won't respond to that. But if you ask me a garden or seed related question, I'll definitely help you out with that. I do have a couple videos that are coming up. I have a couple of recipes that are coming up. That was one of the things. Sorry, I'm a little parched. That was one of the requests that I had, was that I offer more recipes. So I will be doing some more recipes, and shameless plug here. Our tumblers are still available. You'll find those at Mary's Heirloom Seeds under t-shirts and gear. And a couple, I want to encourage you, speaking of growing beyond organic standards. Moonshine says, I appreciate all your great customer service. Well, thank you very much. We appreciate you. I want to touch on a couple of pollinator friendly companion plants that you can add around your pumpkins and around your watermelon. So I'm just looking at what I have growing around here, and there's a couple things that you can do. You can do trap crops. Now, a trap crop generally takes up more space. So if you're growing in a small space, this might not work for you. So a trap crop is something that we call, what do you call it? A sacrificial crop. So Hubbard blue squash is a sacrificial crop. It's a trap crop. It can attract squash bugs. It can attract aphids. So you might be thinking, Mary, that sounds like the silliest thing to plant something that's going to attract those things. And Kaylin at Elbin Mills Farm did this last year, and it worked. And I've done it as well. But it's nice to see that somebody's taking that information and running with it and sharing their information as well. So what I did was I plant my blue Hubbard squash away from my garden. I plant it outside of the regular garden. So we have this garden in particular. Sorry, you don't see it. I'm just showing you. You might be able to see it in the background here. I have a fence around this garden. We have hogs and we have deer. And being the larger of my gardens, I wanted it a little more secure. So what I do is I would take along that back side over here, outside of my fence, I would plant my blue Hubbard squash there. And that might attract the squash bugs to that portion of the farm and not right here inside. I've got pumpkins over here. I've got watermelons over there. I've got beans over there. So that's a really good one. It's not necessarily a pollinator friendly, but it is a great trap crop. So if you struggle with squash bugs, that might be an option for you. Another one is nasturtiums. Nasturtiums are a pollinator friendly companion plant for squash, and they do great with watermelon as well. They will attract pollinators to your garden, and that is fantastic for us. And even better, they're edible. You can eat the leaves, you can eat the flowers, and you can eat the green or immature seeds that they produce. So it's an all around fantastic crop. Black-eyed Susans are another one. People don't necessarily think about black-eyed Susans because it's not a nasturtium, it's not a basil, it's not a sunflower, but they're gorgeous. I seeded the side of our seed shop and with just some wildflowers. I didn't want to just walk up to this bare building and not have flowers. And because obviously I don't want to be watering close to the seed shop, but I do want it. Can you spell nasturtiums? Yes. That's not how you spell them. If you want to add some flowers, some color to your garden, black-eyed Susans are fantastic and they're easy to grow. I have done absolutely zero to them except throw the seeds out and nature watered. So I can definitely be happy about that they are a low maintenance crop. Catnip. Lots of black-eyed Susans along the road in Texas. Absolutely. And that's another reason why I planted black-eyed Susans is I believe they are native to Texas. So that's a plus for us. Obviously, we want to add some native crops to our garden. Let's see, what else can we plant? Obviously, I already mentioned marigolds. Marigolds are fantastic. I sprinkle that stuff all over the place. Along the back side, I planted a bunch of nasturtium seeds. So those will be germinating pretty quickly, or if they haven't already, I haven't checked this morning. And then behind me, you can't really see either, but I've got some blueberries, and I wanted to add some pollinators there as well. Attract pollinators there. So I have zinnias in that corner. So zinnia is a fantastic one as well to bring pollinators to your garden. And they attract more than just bees, which is awesome. I actually saw more butterflies and more bumblebees on my zinnias than I did actual honeybees. So that's a plus as well. You want to add different pollinator friendly crops that will attract multiple varieties of pollinators, not just the honeybees, right? Because of course there's like 200 or over 200 varieties of bees. So the honeybee isn't the only one that we want to attract to our garden. Catnip is another one. Now catnip might be slightly controversial to some people because it can be what some consider invasive, because catnip is from the mint plant. So if you are concerned about catnip spreading in your garden, you can always plant it in a container. Sorry guys, just checking out here, seeing what's going on in this pepper plant. I saw a beetle on it, so I needed to check and see if it was a good beetle or a bad beetle. So catnip is one that can repel flea beetles. So if you go out to your garden and you see these little tiny holes in your plants, sometimes those are flea beetles, and those I don't necessarily know if they'll devastate your crop, but it's definitely weakening your plant. So by planting catnip in different areas, you can repel not just flea beetles. They are beneficial. Again, in the description section of this video, you will find a link to my comprehensive planting guide. In that comprehensive planting guide is all of this information, including my companion planting guide. And there's a giant list of different varieties that will grow with different varieties. So super big plus there if you want to do that. For example, brassicas with tomatoes are not recommended because they can compete for the nutrients in your soil. Pretty cool, right? Um, Dill is a fantastic pollinator friendly plant, and you see a lot of caterpillars on there. I believe swallowtail caterpillars, they'll be all over it. But it can attract the tomato hornworm. So that's why I plant dill outside of my main garden or not next to my tomato plants. I'm actually looking at my tomato plants while I talk to you. So that's another thing to consider, just like your trap crops, planting them outside. Planting dill away from your tomatoes is a plus. What else? I think that's it. So today we talked about the 2023 garden challenges. I mentioned that the February announcement had the prizes that we'll be giving away, and that's in the description section of this video. And then I also have the 2 announcements in the description as well. So you can check those out after my live chat. Go ahead and check out marysheirloomseeds.com and go to Mary's blog, and you will see 2 things. Ending today is my anniversary giveaway. May is our anniversary month for Mary's Heirloom Seeds, but you'll also find a seed sale for May. If you're on the blog and you're not on a mobile device, you check to the right-hand side and you can see the most recent articles I've posted or recipes, and you'll see the seed sale that I posted. So I think that's it for me today. I'm going to go enjoy a little more of my garden and enjoy this beautiful weather we're having this morning, because it's not hot as the surface of the sun out in the garden, so I'm going to get some work done. I appreciate you all joining me today early in the morning on a Saturday. I hope you enjoyed the short video, and I didn't have to wake up too early on my account, but if you're like me, you were up a lot earlier than 9:30. All right, everybody, thanks for joining me, and happy Saturday, and happy planting.